Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we're continuing our examination of this ex-Muslim circus where they're trying to attack the Qur'an. This time it's about the claim that the Qur'an plagiarized pre-Islamic poetry and pre-Islamic poetry style. Suddenly, as soon as you leave Islam, you supposedly, out of nowhere, you have the ability to discuss these matters. You have the ability to discuss the eloquence of the Quran. You have the ability to study the grammar of the language. You have the ability to make silly claims about plagiarism. Let's check out what these guys have to say.
Okay, so that doesn't make sense. Now, one of the things I want to go in, one of the problems was, or the claims launched against Surah Faqaf was that we were borrowing from the Quran. But did you know that Muhammad indeed borrowed from previous poets? Okay, and you can find the muwallaqat, the odes, okay? And not only do you see the Quranic style being shown again and again, you actually sometimes see whole verses lifted out.
So, according to this guy, Jalaluddin al-Tabari, he says that the Quran ripped off lines from the mu'allaqat, the most famous pieces of poetry in Arabic, and nobody noticed. But alhamdulillah, you have Jalaluddin. Carry on.
Okay, so I'll just show an example from a movie.
By the way, this is his response to me claiming that their silly faqaf ripped off the Quran. Here's the example I showed of them ripping off the Quran. Alright, so here I'm going to provide examples of how the author of these verses submits to the Quranic challenge without realizing. Here's an example.
أما الذين اتقوا ربهم فإنهم هم الأخيار لهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار.
So verse 21 here is a direct rip-off from the Qur'an. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses these exact words in 225, 5119, 989, and 8511.
So like just to show you a few examples, and I'll put everything in the links below. But if you notice here, have you seen this before in the Quran? فَلَا تَكْتُمُونَ اللَّهَ مَا فِي نُفُوسِكُمْ.
فَلَا تَكْتُمُونَ. Let's see what it says. فَلَا تَكْتُمُنَّ اللَّهَ مَا فِي نُفُوسِكُمْ. So first of all, you can't friggin' read the line of poetry, which isn't like that big of a surprise. I mean, in the video I put up yesterday, you couldn't even pronounce the word chicken in Arabic correctly.
إِنَّا خَلَقْنَا الدَّجَّاجَ خَلْقًا.
Okay, but these are the similarities, supposedly. This is the copy-paste. This is the plagiarism that he's speaking of. On the top you have the Quran. He knows what is spoken openly and what you conceal. And in the bottom, the line by Zuhair, or the poem by Zuhair. So don't conceal from Allah what is within you to hide it, for whatever is concealed from Allah is known by Him. This is plagiarism, according to Jalaluddin here. And he says it's plagiarism because there's a similarity in style. No, there isn't. There is no similarity in style. The structure's completely different. A lot of different words. This cannot be plagiarism. How is this in any way comparable to the example that I showed in the beginning of the video?
Now, what I also wanted to show you guys is
Malakat?
Yes, this is from the Muwallaqat. Yes, Bukran Bukura. These kind of repetition styles.
Okay, so first of all, it's not Bukran Bukura, it's Bakarna Bukura. Again, this guy can't even read the stuff that's in front of him, but he has the ability to critique the Quran.
So what he's basically arguing is that the concept of emphasis is exclusive to pre-Islamic poetry.
Let's carry on.
Falsafa, another style that you're getting from pre-Islamic courts. And I can keep showing you words upon words where I'll show you this this identical lift.
Identical lift.
From another poet. And the words actually occur in the surah 69, I believe. Yeah, like they occurred word to word like this. Ala arja'iha. Okay, if you can see that.
Yep. Okay, so this is what he's quoting. Check it out. The angels are on its sides, and on that day 8 angels will be carrying the throne. On its sides meaning the sides of the throne. The poetry says the feathers of pigeons are on its sides, the sides of the water, and that causes hearts to race. Okay. Now, he's claiming that ala arja'iha or ala arja'ih is an act of plagiarism. Saying on its sides is an act of plagiarism. So, like, the Qur'an can't say on its sides. This is so silly. This is so dumb. This is not something specific to the Qur'an. This is not something specific to poetry. This is just people. These are words that people use. Everyone says on its sides. It's just a common. It's just a. It's like it's nothing. It's nothing special. It's nothing special. This guy, he's saying that the Qur'an ripped off complete sentences from the mu'allaqat. Okay? And this is what he's bringing.
Well, these are just a few examples, and we have a lot to cover. Like I can show you other examples. Like I've highlighted a few. Laysa biha minhum.
Laysa biha minhum. This is not in the Qur'an. This is not something specific to or exclusive to pre-Islamic poetry. It just means no one from among them. Which is a basic common line. You even find this in hadith. Not even by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You have Aisha saying this.
So what is the significance of these similarities? Of the Quran using phrases from pre-Islamic poetry? What's the big deal? Why is that a problem?
Wallahi, I
So this ties back into the challenge, right? And one of the problems is with language is because you are tied in a certain set of rules of either vocabulary or grammar and sentence structures or expressions, okay, or form of expression. Now, it's in one way to approach it, it's inevitable because you're using the same language or similar language, you will eventually end up expressing yourself in similar ways. Or you can just say that we're ripping it off. And what I'm going to bring back to is Surah Faqaf, where some things can only be expressed in a certain way. So saying that, oh, it was championed by the Quran.
So this verse can only be expressed, or these words can only be expressed in this particular way. Anyways, guys, I'm sorry for, inshallah, this wasn't a waste of your time. I hope you were somewhat entertained, because sometimes when you see how bad these arguments are that these people make, you realize the level of the criticism that's brought forward. And by the way, this is coming from someone who has absolutely not just no respect for the Quran, but no respect for the classical poets. I saw this tweet by him yesterday where he's suggesting that iltifat, okay, not just in the Quran is a problem. He's suggesting that iltifat in pre-Islamic poetry is a problem. Okay, so Al-Harith and Imr al-Qais and like all the greats use iltifat. They're all friggin' dumb. They don't know how to use Arabic. But you know, huh? Hi, ya Jalal ad-Din. You know how Arabic is supposed to be. You can't even friggin' read a friggin' sentence. Ad-Dajjaj. Al-Ba'id. Huh? Subhanallah. This is just ridiculous, and well, I'm at a loss for words. You got to be really confident, man. You got to be really confident to talk about a subject like this, a subject you don't know jack about. And you got this joker right here. You got this joker on the left who's yeah. Oh, that's it. The Quran is done. And you know what I love about this? What I love about this is these are the types of guys that spent no time learning the Quran when they were Muslims. They spent no time learning the grammar. They spent no time learning how to read Arabic, learning this stuff. And when they leave Islam, now they're atheists and they believe that life is limited. There's no afterlife. My life is like it's. I mean, again, it leads to nihilism, right? You have this gift that you just like fell into coincidentally, and you're on this earth for 30 years, and now when there is no punishment and reward, when there's no Jannah and Nar, when there's no day of recompense, when there's no any of that, all of a sudden you're gonna spend your time learning the Quran and learn it right. Damn it, learn it the way it's supposed to be learned. Don't make up stuff. Don't try to friggin' find faults when you don't know jack about the subject. You don't know jack about eloquence or grammar, and you're making these videos. It's just silly. It's just silly. And there are memes. There are memes coming out, people making fun of you because you're doing this. And if I were you, I wouldn't criticize it. I don't criticize pre-Islamic poetry. Even though, like, for example, in the Mu'allaq of Zuhair, I saw something that I thought could be criticized. But this stuff is above my level. I'm not going to criticize pre-Islamic poetry because it's above my level. And انتوا عندكم level أصلا؟ ما عندكم level. Alright? Yalla, go friggin' Google up what I said. Google translate it. To the rest of you guys, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And I will also show you what Tabari, Jalaluddin al-Tabari had to say.